Good evening. We begin tonight with new information just into our newsroom about last night's fatal shooting involving a state parole agent and an Erie man. According to state police, parole agents were doing compliance checks when they recognized Marchello Woodard sitting in a parked car in the 300 block of East 27th Street. When officers identified themselves, Woodard allegedly began to drive away, dragging an agent in the process. The agent then fired multiple rounds into the driver's side of the car before falling free. Erie police responded and found Woodard about 1.5 blocks from the initial scene. Those officers provided medical attention to Woodard before he was taken to the hospital, where he later died of his injuries.
All right. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High. And here we have yet another shooting of a unarmed black man, this time by state parole officers. They have went from police to sheriffs to regular citizens, now state parole officers. And I want to offer condolences to Marchello Woodard, better known to many as Chello. Now, I received a call couple of hours after it happened Wednesday night, but I wanted to wait till more details emerge. Evidently, Chello was slated to get off of probation on July the 18th, only 2 weeks away. And as they were doing compliance check, they claimed that they approached Chello. Chello tried to drive off. He, quote unquote, was dragging an officer, and they had to let off numerous shots. Now, I'm going to show you an eyewitness testimony from an interview that was done on the scene, but I'm also going to show you some other community members as well who differ with the story that the news is portrayed. Just watch this article right here as people close to those involved in the situation give an alternative perspective of what really happened.
Erie News now at 5.
Pennsylvania State Police have launched an investigation after an Erie man was shot and killed by a state parole agent.
Erie News now, Jameson Hicksonbaugh is joining us live in the studio with the very latest on the investigation after following the developments today. Jameson, good evening.
Good evening. State police have remained tight-lipped about the investigation, only confirming that a Pennsylvania parole agent was involved. But I spoke with the family and friends of the man who was killed, and tonight they are sharing their concerns as they mourn his death. And around 10 o'clock last night, Erie police responded to a call for a shooting off of East 27th and Parade Streets. According to police, state parole agents reported that they had shot a man during an investigation that they were conducting. An Erie police unit saw a car coming towards them at East 27th and German, with the driver slumped over inside of the vehicle. Officers then positioned their car in front of that vehicle to prevent it from going further. Erie police say officers then pulled the man from that vehicle and began rendering aid, but he died. Family and friends identify the man as Marchello Woodard. Dion Polium tells us that her aunt dated him and was being dropped off last night when they were approached by two agents. After her aunt got out of that vehicle, Polium says the officers approached Woodard's car. Words were then exchanged, and Polium said Woodard panicked and pulled off with one of the agents still holding onto the car. Moments later, shots were fired. And tonight, Woodard's friends and family are questioning the use of force.
Ain't no way this man was supposed to be shot dead. Y'all had a chance to shoot. Y'all could have just shot the tire. Y'all could have ran up on him when he let my aunt out. Y'all could have just got him then. What was the point of coming up to a car all aggressively? Like, I don't understand.
We are still waiting on more information from state police about their investigation. Meanwhile, Erie police is reiterating that the department was not involved in that initial incident. Jameson Hicksonbaugh, Erie News Now.
All right, and so there you see once again somebody close to the situation describing what happened. They said that he had just dropped somebody off, and then police agents came to his car. According to another report, they said, They asked him to step out, and he was about to step out until he noticed something. It was that time he attempted to drive off. They said one officer was still holding on to the car, holding on to the window, and then that officer shot. Now, of course, they're going to say that he was dragging the officer, but that is just a premise they use oftentimes to justify them shooting. If that officer didn't want to be dragged, only thing he had to do was let go of the car. And just like the young lady said, if you wanted to stop him, you could have easily shot the tires. You don't have to shoot to kill. But we know that that is what they're trained to do because they know they're going to get away with it. And this time it was a state parole officer. Now, here is another eyewitness account from an eyewitness on the scene, and she's going to let you know what she saw in regards to that incident.
Okay, he went flying across 27th Street, boom, through the intersection, and one of the police officers was on the handle of the car door.
What you mean on the handle of the car door?
He grabbed
on the outside?
On the outside.
Trying to stop him?
He grabbed onto Chello's car door and tried to get Chello. He kept telling Chello to pull over.
Why?
Chello,
you know?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I was sitting right here.
Okay.
So when I see that it was Chello fly across that street right there, and the officer chasing him with his gun out.
Right there.
Right there on 27.
Okay.
The officer chasing him with his gun out and was firing.
Wait. Taylor was running?
No, Chello was in the car. The other officer was on the car, and the other officer was chasing the car with his gun out and shot twice.
What happened? Did Chello fall?
Chello fell out the car.
He got hit. You seen him get shot?
I did not see where they hit him at, but they shot him while that man was in that car. And he fell out. He curved into the side and fell out of the car.
Onto the ground.
Onto the ground. And the paramedics took forever to get out and even work on that man. They sat there. They were sitting there. The officers wouldn't even let the paramedics get to this man. And that's my word. I think it's okay for y'all to keep doing it. This is messy. You should not call yourself a police officer. Call yourself a pig. You're a mess. It's okay for them to take somebody's life, but it's not okay for somebody on the streets to defend themselves when it comes to that type of situation. Shot that man in his car for no reason. I wonder if he was on the run from state parole. If he didn't kill nobody and he ain't got no weapon, what is y'all doing, man? They could have shot them tires or something to get that man to stop. But instead, they're just shooting across the street, like in the street. He's running and shooting at this man. Running in the street, shooting at this man in a car. That's a real police officer for you, huh? That's his job.
And the one police officer was holding on to the door handle. Was Chello dragging him?
No, the police officer did that on his own before Chello got to go through there and flew. You know what I'm saying? He grabbed the hold of the handle and was running. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And Chello pulled off like, he's like, you need to pull over. You need to pull over.
He was saying that?
That's what the officer was saying to him. And he swerved out because Chello acted like he was going to pull over and swerved out. The dude got off, and that's when the police officer started shooting at him.
And hit him while he was driving in the car.
They don't even know if somebody else was in that car with him, and they still... They didn't even do their job. That is not what they're allowed to do. That is not protecting, sir.
Was somebody in the car with him?
I don't know.
Somebody could get shot.
They could have shot these kids. They could have shot those kids. It was everybody out here. He's shooting in the middle of the street, bro. The car was already through the intersection, and he's going through the intersection shooting the gun. 2 times. We seen them 2 times. Why would you shoot at somebody in a car if they didn't kill nobody?
He's just trying to get away.
He was just, yes, pretty much.
Just trying to get away.
Regardless what the situation was,
Right.
amongst any situation with him and the law,
Right.
they had no right to shoot at
Because
that man's
he
car.
wasn't having nobody in danger.
In that car. What if his mother was in that car? They're the ones that are going and disobeying the law.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, what you say now?
The officer that shot, what is his name? Marchello. I was going to call him Chello. He was probably about 5'5", 5'6". Little husky, says SWAT on the back of his vest, walking with the one that said state parole. And after they got that, they was walking away and I went ham.
So which one was holding on to the car?
I don't know. I didn't see the officer's face.
Okay. I mean, was it SWAT or state parole?
I believe it's SWAT.
Okay. All right.
But I'm not going to lock that in.
Right, no doubt, no doubt.
Okay,
no
because they
doubt.
all have uniforms on. And I don't like to make up stories and shit, you know?
Right. Did you gonna drop out what you seen and say how
One
you?
thing I seen, you know what I mean, that it was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And I seen the man laying down there, you know what I mean, shot for no reason. They could have shot the car, they could have shot the, you know what I'm saying, anywhere but that. You know what I mean? That's messed up. You know what I mean? I think.
Right. Unjustified.
Yeah, that's unjustified right there.
All right, so there you heard various residents, eyewitnesses talking about what they saw. The lady made a great point. The officer did that to himself. Chello was driving off. The officer was holding on to the handle, running with them, telling them to stop, stop, stop. And Chello swerved off. That's when the officer shot him. There was no need to shot them. And that's what the original reports that I received as well. Chello had driven off, and then the officer shot from behind, hitting him. And as the lady mentioned, that there could have been kids shot, multiple people shot, people in the car. What was the emergency of having to stop him? When somebody, once again, runs from the police, you don't have to shoot him. There's nobody in danger. He wasn't aiming the car at police, as they always like to say. And even after they shot him, the lady said that they prevented the paramedics from even rendering medical aid, as opposed to what the news is saying. So this is a phenomenon that Black men are immediately shot in these situations, because I just did a video last night of a white girl literally ramming police cars and dragging police with her vehicle, and you guessed it, she did not get shot. If you don't believe me, just take a look at this video from last night.
Get out the car. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Get out. Come out right now. We're gonna pull you out. Get out of the car. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up. Come out. Come out right now. We're gonna pull you out. Get out of the car. Pull up. Yeah, pull up. Oh! Whoa! Stop the car.
And you see them in that last frame right there dragging the officer after she attempted to ram multiple police cars. So why was she not shot and Chello was shot as he attempted to drive off, quote unquote, dragging the officer? Somebody explained that to me. And they interviewed more members of the community. I'm going to let you hear what they have to say. But while you're watching, what the pastors and community members are going to say, y'all think about what the solution is and let me know in the comments.
A 43-year-old Erie man is dead tonight after being shot by a Pennsylvania state parole agent in the city last night. The incident has left many in the community with more questions than answers. Jade Leah Burns has been following this story all day. And Jade, I know the police are being very tight-lipped, but what have you learned?
Yeah, Jen, Pennsylvania State Police crime supervisors are currently conducting interviews about this incident, but we are still waiting to hear what exactly went on last night.
It's a very sad day today here in Erie, Pennsylvania. But my perspective on the situation is very upset, very angry that another unarmed Black man was killed by an officer.
One man is dead after Pennsylvania State Police say he was shot by a state parole agent. Family members have identified the deceased as Marchello Woodard, or better known to many as Chello. He was 43. The incident happened Wednesday evening around 10 o'clock near the intersection of East 27th and German Streets in the city of Erie. The Erie County District Attorney, along with Pennsylvania State Police, are currently investigating. According to the city of Erie, their officers responded to the incident. Once they arrived on scene, they saw the driver slumped over in his vehicle while it was still in motion. It was traveling along East 27th Street toward German. Officers then stopped the car right here where they positioned their cruiser in his path. There are still a lot of unanswered questions as to what caused the incident. The Pennsylvania State Police and other authorities have released little to no information, which has resulted in an uproar within the community. Pastor Gaines urges residents to think before they act, although this incident may have caused a lack of trust between police and the community.
We want to keep the city together, keep it positive. Yes, we are going to remember Chello in a positive manner, but again, we got to make sure that we be very sophisticated and smart of how we go about this.
I've had a long conversation with the chief of police this morning, and I urged him to expeditiously get on the television and make some statements for the welfare of our community.
While we're still waiting on details as to what led up to the shooting, the clergy members believe there are other ways the situation could have been de-escalated. Bishop Brock says every officer should go through sensitivity training so another tragedy like this does not happen again.
We have to do some things that are going to unify us across the board so that we can create a safer tomorrow for our children, for future policemen, for future clergymen, all together as a whole.
And as police continue to investigate, we'll keep asking for more details.
And something came to mind when I was listening at that video. They said after he was shot, police responded to the scene and drove their car in front of his as he was slumped over, incapacitated. How did the police get there so fast? Erie, Pennsylvania police, if they were not already in the area. Because the young man was shot when he was driving. After you get shot, you take your foot off the gas. He didn't drive 10 blocks before the police had to come and stop his car. So that means Erie police were already there. And so that's something that they're trying to say they were definitely involved in that, because if the state parole officer shot him and then all of a sudden his car is drifting off, then the police didn't come from wherever they was that fast to be able to stop the car and put their vehicle in the car. So that is another, once again, lie that is perpetrated by these individuals. And shout out to the pastors, the men of faith who responded, the community leaders. And, I have to, question, once again, I ask for solutions. We always, we have to be smart and sophisticated, as one pastor said, of how we respond to this, but they're not being smart and sophisticated. Was that officer being smart and sophisticated when, he killed the young man? And, the pastor said, well, we have to unify each other, for a better tomorrow. Yeah, that sounds good. But it seems like we're the only ones who are trying to unify. Was that police or that parole agent trying to unify? When he killed Chello. And so we have this utopian ideal that these people are God-fearing people. These people want the same thing that we want. These police officers and white supremacists, they are God-fearing people, and they respect us, and they have a heart and moral ability to see things like this. But that could be further from the truth. You can only unify with people who want to be unified. You can only act logical and sensible and sophisticated with people who have the capacity to do so as well. And so I've come to the point that, you have to just realize that, once again, people are, Black people's enemies. There are our sworn enemies, and they will be our enemies. They have been our enemies since the inception of this country, since the inception of, I guess, humanity. As one scripture said, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. And that's, a statement from God. And, many people feel like the people of Black people in America are, once again, the people of Jacob. And so this goes back farther than we probably can fathom. But you know, I ask for solutions. Y'all let me know the solutions in the comment. One thing, you know, that has always been a solution is, you know, if somebody ended up like we end up, then of course they're going to start thinking twice. A lot of people think slavery and civil rights and Jim Crow ended with just a bunch of marching and praying and, you know, people getting beat up, you know, by fire hose. No, there were people out there knocking people off. There were slave revolts that they don't talk about that said, oh, that had them thinking, all right, well, we can't keep treating these people like this because, you know, they're fighting back. You know, there were cities all over the United States during the Red Summer that Black people were fighting back. And so what do they tell you in school? When a bully keeps messing with you, what you do? You pop off on them and then they'll leave you alone. And once again, I don't advocate violence, but, you know, we've tried to march and we've tried to unify and we've tried to, you know, whatever it is that we've always been trying and it's still happening. And so, you know, once again, I don't have any solutions, but y'all let me know the solutions. Once again, prayers and condolences go to the family of Marchello Chello Woodard, all right, and his loved ones, and hopefully, once again, we'll maybe get some justice, but the police are always justified in these killings. So, you know, what is the next answer when we don't get justice? Y'all let me know in the comments. Also, let me know what you think about the video. You see the number 919-587-7782. And as always, peace and blessings.